Welcome to the August Wilson Cultural Center. Please notice the nearest exit signs in case of emergency. Cell phone use is prohibited. Please refrain from recording during the performance. Large bags are prohibited in the theater to ensure the comfort of fellow patrons. Please visit the August Wilson Cultural Center website at aacc-awc.org for more information. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Jameson. I'm a local singer-songwriter, born and raised in Pittsburgh, live in the North Hills, currently still 20 minutes from here. And I'm honored, and it's a privilege to be here and to be welcomed here this evening. I wanted to share a song with you I wrote. It's called Faith, Hope, and Love. I wrote it about 2 years ago in response to the events that occurred at the Pulse nightclub in Florida. And then when a fellow voice contestant was killed at her concert due to violence as well. And so I wrote it, and then I kind of sat with it. I didn't really know what to do with it. But then when the events occurred on the 27th, being 20 minutes from where I live, and seeing the hearts break, my heart ached for the families, for all of everyone that was either directly or indirectly affected by it. No one should ever have to go into their place of worship in fear for their life. So I'm honored to be here today to sing this song for you. My hope is that, even if it's just a little bit, that music, this song, can help offer some little piece of healing. So thank you very much for having me. It's the same story, different day. Clearly this problem just won't go away. We need less fights in streets and more fights for peace in this war against hate. It's the same story, different day. It's just one thing after another. One more life that is lost. Just one more heartbreaking story. When will this nightmare be gone? It's just one less brother or sister, one less daughter or son, just one less father or mother. When will this nightmare be gone? Keep faith, have hope, give love. Keep faith, have hope, give love. Fight for the life that's been taken, and for the life that's yet to come. Keep faith, have hope, give love. Oh, give love, give love, give love, give love. Every action you take, every word you speak, could change this world of hurt into one of healing. You know, lies on TV showing bloody scenes of the damage that's been done. Can't let fear overcome, cause then they've won. And it's just one thing after another. One more life that is lost. Just one more heartbreaking story. When will this nightmare be gone? It's just one less brother or sister, one less daughter or son, wipe away the tears as our kids they learn to read. Will they be ashamed of their history? Oh, don't make them ashamed of their history. Oh, keep faith, have hope, give love. Keep faith, have hope, give love. And fight for the life that's been taken and for the life that's yet to come. Keep faith, have hope, give love. Yeah, give love, give love, give love, give love, give love. Give love, give love, give love. Oh, give love, give love, give love, give love, give love. Give love, give love, give love, give love, give love. Oh, give love, give love, give love, give love, give love. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Good evening. How are we doing tonight? Well, I can tell you, when we heard we were coming here today, we were really excited because tonight's about a celebration. We want you guys to celebrate and have fun and grow out of the bad experience we had. And I want to tell you a story about the song that we're going to play for you right now. If you haven't seen it, right after the shootings, I have 2 kids, and when you watch something like that unfold, it's really difficult to try to explain that. So you always want to know what you can do, and as entertainers that Mike and I are, the one thing we can offer is music. So the next day I called Mike on the phone. I said, hey Mike, I got a song that I think we can do together. So he and I sat down and wrote this song together, and we decided that it was a wonderful song, and we said, you know what, let's not just you and I do it, let's send a message to our city here. And we invited all of our musical friends. We have over 40 musicians spanning over decades and genres of music, everyone from Johnny Angel and the Halos, to Scott Blasey from the Clarks, to Jeff Jimerson, to Chris Jameson, to just so many wonderful artists. All I had to do is pick up the phone and text them and say, would you guys like to sing on the song? And before you know it, I got an immediate yes. We were supposed to do it in 1 day. We had such an overwhelming response, we had to do it over 2 days. So we encourage you, everything that happens with the song goes directly back to the Victims of Terror Fund. So we encourage you to download the song on all your musical media sources. You'll see behind us as we sing it, you'll see all the different faces on there that are doing their parts. For the first time, I'm singing this song by myself because I'm used to so many different voices that I have all these voices in my head, but trust me, I'm okay. I promise you that. So this is called Stand Together. We want you to clap along, sing along, and have fun with us. Felt like any Saturday in the city we are from, where we raised our families, where we worship, where we love. Breaking news of tragedy, how could this happen here? Disbelief and heartache, now we're calling out in prayer. If we stand together, we'll lean on each other and we'll make it through if we stand together. In this time of sorrow, we are Pittsburgh strong. United in diversity, a community of one. And if you look for the helpers, in every neighborhood we'll be arm in arm together, a Steel City family. If we stand together, we'll lean on each other and we'll make it through if we stand together. Fell from the sky that day like an angel's tears. The love we show each other will conquer hate and fear. Come on now. Stand together. Let's see those hands. Stand together. We'll lean on each other and we'll make it through if we stand together. Stand together. Stand together. We'll lean on each other and we'll make it through if we stand together. Stand together. Stand together. We'll lean on each other and we'll make it through if we stand together. Stand together. Stand together. Stand together. Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Debbie Resnick,
And I'm Josh Resnick.
and we are your co-chairs for tonight for the This Is Us event. We'd like to thank everyone for taking the time tonight for being with us.
And we're about to see a short video thanking everyone for the support that was received after the tragedy at Tree of Life Synagogue.
An attack on some of us feels like an attack on all of us. But your support has helped us to begin to heal. Thank you to the first responders and healthcare professionals who ran towards danger to help. Thank you to Jewish organizations for showing strength and resiliency. Thank you to leaders of all faiths for uniting with us against hate. Thank you to our Pittsburgh sports teams, to our elected officials, to businesses, foundations, and charities. Thank you to the entire Pittsburgh community. Thank you to people across the United States, to people all over the world. Your incredible outpouring of support proves that we are stronger together. From the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh, on behalf of all of Jewish Pittsburgh, Toda Rabbah. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Meryl Ainsman. I'm the chair of the board of the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. It's quite a beautiful sight looking out at this beautiful crowd. Thank you very much to Chris Jameson, Joe Waderick, and Mike Ofka for their beautiful performances. They certainly warmed my heart, and I'm sure they did everyone in the audience. Also, welcome to the people who are watching via live stream. Yes, we are in 2018. People in Florida, Arizona, elsewhere, maybe even from Israel. So welcome to you. A special thank you to a few people. First of all, to Jeff Finkelstein, CEO of the Jewish Federation. Jeff has always been a very strong leader and a good friend and a good partner, but never more than in the past several weeks. And I know all of you feel the same and have seen the extraordinary job Jeff has done and how lucky we are to have him as CEO of our federation. I also want to thank Linda Joshowitz, who's chair of the community campaign in her second year and doing an exemplary job. as well as Ellen Terry Kaplan Goldstein, Vice Chair of the Community Campaign, and Jan Levinson, Co-Chair of the Community Campaign. So thank you very much to that wonderful campaign group and many of their committee who are here tonight in the audience as well. I would also like to acknowledge some of our local elected officials. We tend to do this at most events, and sometimes it's sort of a perfunctory thing, but in this case, this is truly sincere acknowledgement and thanks to Congressman Mike Doyle, County Executive Fritz Fitzgerald, Mayor Bill Peduto, and many others. The outpouring of help and sympathy and cooperation from our elected officials, literally from the first hour of this tragedy, is one that unfortunately I think cities around the world will learn from. And they were our partners in this, continue to be our partners in this, and for that we are extremely grateful, and I want to thank you. So, like everyone in this room, I still have trouble processing the horrific events of October 27th that took the lives of 11 members of our Jewish community and left 6 others, including 4 first responders, pretty significantly injured. Before we begin, can we just take a brief moment of silence in honor of their memory? May their memory be forever a blessing. As heartbroken as I am for the victims, their families, and our Jewish community as a whole, I also feel very hopeful. The past 7 weeks, we've witnessed a coming together of our community and an outpouring of support from around the world, unlike I've ever seen, and really, quite honestly, could never have expected. We always talk about our Pittsburgh pride, how our Jewish community and our federation are unique and aren't like others in the world. Now we know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. Because Federation was there on October 26th, we were able to be there on October 27th, and we will always continue to be there as the heart of the Pittsburgh Jewish community. The annual campaign is the core of Federation, and Federation is the heart of the community. Because of the close and collaborative nature of our community, early that Saturday afternoon, we huddled together with the CEOs and the staff of the JCC, JF&CS, and the 3 congregations for an immediate debrief and to begin to determine and divide the responsibilities of each of these organizations moving forward. Early Sunday morning, we convened about 150 members of all the Jewish organizations in Pittsburgh, the synagogues, the agencies, and other affiliate organizations, for what we're calling a security briefing, and it was in fact a security briefing. But to be honest, we recognized, and it was felt very much in that room, that people really needed to be together. We needed the camaraderie, we needed the emotional support from each other, and it was quite an extraordinary morning. Early that afternoon, we then continued to plan the vigil that occurred on Saturday night. We planned it. Over 3,000 people showed up, both inside, and many of you were standing outside in the cold rain and stayed. It was convening dozens of different religious community leaders and politicians, and it was all mobilized within 24 hours of the attack. Anyone who was there walked away, I know I certainly did, with an overwhelming feeling, quite honestly, of love. As a result of this horrible act of hate, the feeling of love in that room was a perfect antidote for what the terror that we were all feeling. Early on, Federation acted as the media contact, coordinating the dozens, if not hundreds, of requests from media, literally from around the world, that wanted statements, interviews, and other press releases. Since then, in the weeks that have followed, Federation has been very busy doing a multitude of other tasks in relating to the events of October 27th. Some of these include immediate financial assistance to the victims' families, which helped with Shiva costs, immediate financial response to the first responders' families. We paid for security at all of the synagogues and institutions, the Jewish institutions in the community, for a month at a cost of over $120,000. We continue to assess all of the security needs, and there will be plans going forward how to keep our community safe. The Board of Directors approved within a couple of days a charter to form the Pittsburgh Jewish Community Relief Fund. It is an independent committee. That's important to know. It's independent of the Federation, even though it's chartered by the Federation. It's chaired by David Shapiro, and this committee is tasked to determine how to distribute the funds that have been so generously donated from people around the world to the Victims of Terror Fund. However, truly our work has just begun. We will continue to assess and provide the resources and meet the ever-growing and changing needs of our community. These needs, as I mentioned, include security, mental health assistance, community resilience, among other things. I'm sure that everyone in this room has heard from friends who don't live in Pittsburgh, who are from Pittsburgh and not currently living here. People around the world are amazed at how strongly our whole community has responded, how much we've rallied together, and what a special place Pittsburgh is. We've always known it. Now the world knows it too. We are determined to learn from this terrible tragedy and try to honor the victims' memories by emerging from these dark days stronger than ever. The world is watching us. So next, we will hear from one of those voices of the Pittsburgh Jewish diaspora, Jeff Solomon. Jeff is a Pittsburgh native currently living in New York with his wife Linda and 3 kids, Ryan, Spencer, and Katie, son of Mel and Marcia, who I think are here tonight. Jeff is a product of many Federation-funded Pittsburgh Jewish institutions, including the JCC, Emma Kaufman Camp, and Tree of Life Synagogue. Professionally, he is the CEO of Cowen, an investment banking firm. He is very active in UJA Federation of New York, serving as past chair of the investment committee, and currently as a co-chair of the King David Society. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to This Is Us. My name is Laura Parker, and along with my husband Jeff, we're really excited to be serving as your co-chairs for the event this evening.
We hope you enjoy this next video by Jeff Solomon. He's a former Pittsburgher who now does philanthropy work in New York. Thank you.
I like to tell people, when you're a Jew and you're from Pittsburgh, everybody knows. You know, if there's 2 ways to define who I am Jewish and I'm from Pittsburgh. I think I've only come to appreciate the specialness of Pittsburgh and Squirrel Hill in particular as I moved away. And I think when I look at the inclusiveness and the deep sense of community responsibility that exists there, the openness, the willingness to engage with others in a civil manner, I wish the rest of the world were more like that on an ongoing basis. Because if it were, then I think the world would be a better place. I have good days and bad days, is what I say. And sometimes when I sit and reflect on it, I can't believe that this happened, and I wonder about the families and what they must be thinking and feeling. And you know, anti-Semitism is a real thing. It is on the rise all over the world, and Pittsburgh is no exception. Though I think what we've seen in response to this is a remarkable outpouring of love and support. In the midst of this tragedy, let's look at the good. Let's look at the vast number of people and neighbors all over the world who have reached out because they feel compassion towards us as a community and towards the victims. When I look at these events, if we hadn't been there with Federation in Pittsburgh doing the kinds of good things we've been doing for years, how would people have known? Why would people have cared? Because of their consistent positive engagement they've had with Federation and Federation programs. And so when you look at what we do for the community, yes, it has a Jewish flavor, and yes, it's about taking care of yourself, but it's also about taking care of the broader community and making sure that the community in which we live is enriched and enhanced by our presence. That's what it means to be in the diaspora. We're teaching them our core values and they don't even realize it. So that when events like this happen, they go, oh, I care, I feel, I want to help you. When you engage with organizations like Federation, you're finding a way to express your responsibility, your tikkun olam, the joyousness of positive engagement and making an impact on others. So if you're at all like me and you want to make a positive impact on others and you don't know how to do it, let Federation teach you how to do it. There's so many programs that you can get involved with, chances to make deep, meaningful, lasting impact. Where did I learn that? I learned that from my parents. and the people they surrounded themselves with. I learned that from the Jewish leadership in Pittsburgh because I watched them do it. I look at the foundations of the experiences that I had as a child and who they made me to be, and I would not have had those if it weren't for the efforts made by the generation that came before me. When I think about what world I'm leaving for my children and my children's children, my investment in Jewish philanthropy is an expression of my responsibility, because I can reflect back on the things that made a deep positive impact for me, and I want to pay it forward. The message of a strong campaign is that we're still here and we are undeterred. You can try to knock us down, but we're not going anywhere, because we have a responsibility to continue to do good. That's what a strong campaign in 2019 says.
I spent 28 years in the FBI, mostly in violent crimes and crisis management. Over the last 2 years, I've helped with 135 training sessions for well over 5,000 members of the community. September 5th, right before high holidays, I led an active shooter training session at the Tree of Life building. I talked about what to do to stay alive for the first 3 to 5 minutes, the time it takes for first responders to arrive.
On the day of the shooting, my husband and I had the TV turned on. As soon as the news came on, I remember craning my neck as if I could actually put myself into the TV because I was trying to figure out what synagogue it was. When they reported Tree of Life, I started preparing for what kids at our Jewish schools would need to cope.
That Saturday morning, I made 3 phone calls. One to my chief operating officer at Jewish Family and Community Services to plan our response. One to our volunteer coordinator, who was a member of North Hadash, whose husband was injured in the attack and survived. And one to the president of Tree of Life asking how we could be helpful.
We're Tree of Life members. My wife was past president. When the call started to come in, I said, everyone can just come to the JCC, which I head up. We'll figure it out from there.
Once we knew to go to the JCC, we called in other staff from JFCS and identified local therapists with trauma expertise who could come and help us out.
Before the training, Rabbi Myers never carried a cell phone on Shabbat. Because he did the training with us, he was able to save himself and several others. On Saturday morning, Rabbi Myers was the first one to call 911. He managed to gather people who were in the front of the sanctuary and get them out.
Families gathered at the JCC all day and evening on Saturday, waiting to find out whether their loved ones were alive or gone. One staff member lost his mother and his sister was wounded. Another lost her husband. She hasn't yet returned to work. We had a very active JCC members who were killed. We have members who belong to the Hever Kadisha who would be preparing bodies for funeral. All of us had to put emotion aside and deal with events that you can never be fully prepared to deal with.
When we walked into the JCC for the first time, we gave hugs to the staff there, and then we just started working together. That kind of seamless collaboration isn't something we take for granted.
The JCC hosted a funeral, something we had not done in recent memory. 2 families held their shivas with us for 6 nights in a row, transforming performing arts space to a place for bereavement and comfort. We helped organize the community-wide vigil on Sunday. On Monday, though, we went back to regular programming. Fitness opened at 5:30 a.m., early childhood at 7, the senior center at 8:30, after school and special needs care at 2:30. Part of resilience is getting back to normal, even when you're not feeling normal.
At Federation, we worked around the clock arranging security for funerals and shivas, and making sure that people could get back to school and synagogue and feel some measure of safety going about their lives.
Monday morning, we made sure each school would have a counselor on site. Teachers came up to me worried about how they were going to get through the day. They said, how do we talk to our students? What should I say? I told them, just listen. That's the best thing you can do.
For the last 14 years, my organization, JFCS, together with the JCC, the Jewish Association on Aging, and the Federation, have been working on an initiative called Age Well Pittsburgh. We were awarded the Collaboration Prize by the Lodestar Foundation. It was the strength of those relationships that made it easy to step into a chaotic crisis situation and feel like we had each other's backs.
The FBI, who was with us all throughout those early days, called us the heartbeat of the community. I've said that Squirrel Hill is America's last shtetl. We're that close. And the closeness of our community makes the pain cut deeper, but it will also make the healing more lasting.
One of the beautiful things I experienced, and it's difficult to apply that word to this situation, was when I was talking with a group of 6th graders that Monday. They were expressing their Jewishness in a way that was very moving. They said, "This person targeted my people. I'm Jewish, and I'm so proud of who I am." My name is April Arts. I'm one of the 3 counselors who work with the 3 Jewish schools in the area. We're part of a program called Yad B'Yad, and it's funded by the Jewish Federation.
I'm Brian Schreiber. I've been CEO of the JCC for 20 years, and we receive funding from the Jewish Federation.
I'm Jordan Golan, and I've been CEO of Jewish Family and Community Services for 2 years, with the organization for a total of 18 years, and we receive funding from the Jewish Federation.
My name is Brad Orsini. I'm the first Director of Community Security, a position created and funded by the Jewish Federation.
Pittsburgh and its Jewish community is unlike any other Jewish community.
We need each other, we know each other, we care about each other.
When I came to Pittsburgh, I knew no one. To raise a child with no family around is really hard, but when we started at CDS, suddenly I had a family. Our lives have been shaped by our involvement with Federation.
Growing up, I always knew about Federation, sort of just being the force in the community that had a lot to do with money and helping other agencies and organizations.
My mother was involved with the Jewish Federation. I think I wondered where she was going off to meetings.
I knew about Federation, but I didn't realize that they were behind so many of the things that I do.
They oversee all these agencies and help them grow, they help them thrive.
You know, if you talk about the roots of a tree, they're the roots, and then we grow from there.
I have never truly appreciated the impact that Federation can have until the weekend following October 27th.
On that day, I felt that the world around me was crumbling just a little bit.
It was a day that will live with me forever.
My first thought was, we have to do something, we have to bring the community together. I organized a community vigil. There's no way I could count how many people were there, but we filled the entire corner, and it was beautiful.
There was a vigil on Ben Yehuda Street with 500 plus teenagers coming together and singing songs and lighting candles. It was overwhelming for me to see that support and love.
Federation was driving these community efforts that our leaders, as stressed and traumatized as they themselves were working day and night.
Because of the relationships that they had formed, they were able to support all the needs of the community in the days following.
We hardly had to pick up the phone to call anyone and ask for help. But when we did, unequivocally, the answer was yes. And that's worth a whole lot.
I think if we've learned anything, we've learned that the Federation has been there, will be there, and will always be there for the community.
We should walk with our shoulders thrust back and our heads up, because this is an incredible federation.
The Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh makes us stronger together.
We're stronger together.
We are stronger together.
Stronger together.
Stronger together.
Stronger together.
The Jewish Federation has always taken care of the community. Now more than ever, Jewish Pittsburgh needs you.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Finkelstein, the President and CEO of the Jewish Federation. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go off script for just a moment. So I hope my staff won't argue with me on that. I want to say thank you to the Jewish Federation staff for everything they do all the time. The Jewish Federation campaign supports the community and provides the heart for our community that no other organization can. The campaign enables us to convene and address any of the issues that arise in crisis and every day. You just heard from our Jewish Community Security Director, Brad Orsini. This is a position newly created by the Federation Board in 2016 in response to increased security needs, and now is fully funded by the campaign. I know that the training Brad provided, and he talked about it briefly, to the Tree of Life Synagogue in early September saved lives on October 27th. Since then, Brad has increased security trainings and assessments around the community exponentially, helping us to feel and be safe in our Jewish communal institutions. Only Federation makes this happen. Tonight, you've heard from so many people touched by and supported by the campaign and the work of the Federation. This is us. We all are both donors and beneficiaries of the campaign. On October 26th, we were all beneficiaries of so many services that the Federation helps to provide. From October 27th forward, we will continue to benefit from these services, and in addition, counting on Federation's campaign to help provide safety and security in our community needs to grow and thrive in the future. You all make this happen. You create this community through your financial support of the campaign and your ongoing support through leading, volunteering, and showing up like you do tonight. People ask how they can help. You're examples of how you help. By being here tonight and showing that no anti-Semitic act will dim our light. By contributing to the campaign and enabling us to continue to support our community through our amazing beneficiary agencies, and also to begin planning for the additional support our community will need in the coming months and years ahead. In my 20 years at the Federation, I've never stood up in a room of over 300 people with more confidence to ask you all to make a significant increase to this year's campaign. If there's ever a time to ask you to step up and increase your commitment, now is that time. It's the campaign that sustained us in our community's darkest time, in the worst anti-Semitic incident ever to take place in the United States, and that campaign will continue to sustain us into the future. The Federation does many things, but we can't do anything without a strong and successful campaign. Each and every one of you has been a part of the campaign in the past, and you have the power to help us move our community into the future. So I'm asking all of you today, right now, to join me in supporting our community with an increased campaign commitment. I'm going to pause for 90 seconds. You're taught when you do fundraising, after you make an ask, you be quiet. So we're going to be quiet for 90 seconds. There's a pledge card in the back of your name tag, and you can complete that, or you can text right up here on the screen, the number that's right up here. And now I'm going to begin the 90 seconds of silence. Thank you. Each and every one of you has made a difference here tonight. I thank you on behalf of the Jewish community, on behalf of the Jewish people here in Pittsburgh, on behalf of the Jewish people in Israel, on behalf of the Jewish people around the world. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you again to our lead sponsor, a really close partner of the Federation, PNC Bank, and to all of our sponsors for making this incredible night possible. Federation staff's going to be around to collect your completed pledge cards as you leave the auditorium. Thank you again for being here tonight. I invite you to go back and to look at our Stronger Together exhibit on your way out. Thank you.